Hello learners! It's another amazing discussion today with me, Sir Norberto Buban,
And I, Sir Denver Aquino.
This lesson will lead you to differentiate basic features and importance of photosynthesis and respiration.
The biological reactions that complement each other in the environment are photosynthesis and respiration.
The equation of cellular respiration and photosynthesis are almost opposite processes, meaning the interchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide by cellular respiration and photosynthesis helps in maintaining both atmospheric oxygen and carbon dioxide and differ in the form of energy that is being absorbed or released as shown in the illustration.
Plants release oxygen, which is a byproduct of photosynthesis, and we breathe in oxygen so that our cells can carry out cellular respiration and generate ATP or the adenosine triphosphate. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are in many respects the reverse of one another. Photosynthesis is an anabolic process, whereas cellular respiration is a catabolic process. Let us explore more differences between cellular respiration and photosynthesis.
Let us discuss first the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process that provides energy for almost all life. During photosynthesis, autotrophs use the sun's energy to make carbohydrate molecules from water and carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast of plant cells and algae and in the cell membrane of certain bacteria. So the process of photosynthesis can be summarized by the following equation.
There are two stages of photosynthesis. One is the light-dependent reactions, and two, the light-independent reactions or the Calvin cycle.
Let us discuss first the light-dependent reaction. In the light-dependent reaction, chlorophyll in the thylakoids captures light energy. Look at the diagram that shows the light-dependent reactions. The chlorophyll is grouped in areas of the thylakoids called photosystem 1 and 2. Both electrons are passed down an electron transport chain. One generates ATP and the other is an ADPH, an electron carrier. Chemical energy has been generated from sunlight energy. To replace this initial electron loss in photosystem 2, water is split into hydrogen ions, electrons, and oxygen. The oxygen diffuses out of the chloroplast as a byproduct.
The light-independent reactions are a series of reactions referred to as a Calvin cycle. They all occur in the stroma of the chloroplast. The chemical energy stored in the ATP and NADPH powers the formation of glucose, using carbon dioxide and the H+ ion from the NADPH+. The light-independent reactions can occur in the light or in the dark. This step of photosynthesis is important because it fixes carbon from a gas to an edible form that other organisms on the planet can use. Do you recall that life on Earth is carbon-based? Autotrophs are the only organisms on Earth that can create high-energy organic compounds from low-energy gaseous carbon.
These are the steps of the Calvin cycle. First, carbon dioxide enters the leaves of plants and diffuses into the cells that contain chloroplast. Second, a molecule of carbon dioxide is fixed to an existing 5-carbon sugar by the enzyme rubisco or ribulose biphosphate carboxylate. So this enzyme is one of the most important and abundant enzymes on Earth. Third, the 6-carbon sugar that results is unstable. It splits into 2. Fourth, a series of reactions occur where ATP and NADPH donate energy and matter to create a molecule of glucose. Fifth, the carbon sugar originally used is regenerated and the cycle turns again with another carbon dioxide. And last, it takes 6 turns of the cycle to make one molecule of glucose.
Let us now discuss cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process of using oxygen in the mitochondria to chemically break down organic molecules such as glucose. This releases the energy stored in the bands of glucose. Here is the equation for cellular respiration. Glucose combined with 6 molecules of oxygen will yield 6 molecules of water, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, and 36 ATP or the adenosine triphosphate in the form of energy. In this process, molecules of water and carbon dioxide are released as waste products. This series of reactions produces 36 molecules of ATP.
There are 3 stages to cellular respiration. Each occurs in a specific location within the cell. The first stage is the glycolysis. It occurs in the cytoplasm. The second one is the Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. It occurs in the mitochondria or in the matrix of mitochondria. And the third one is the electron transport chain or ETC. It occurs in the inner membrane or crystallate of mitochondria. Examine the diagram given that shows these 3 stages. Notice that ATP is generated in each stage. The first step is glycolysis. Cellular respiration begins with glycolysis. The word glycolysis means to split sugar. In glycolysis, 1 molecule of glucose or 6-carbon sugar is broken in half by enzymes in the cytoplasm, producing 2 molecules of 3-carbon pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Splitting a molecule in half sounds simple, but glycolysis actually involves a series of steps that are controlled by specific enzymes. 2 molecules of ATP are spent to begin glycolysis, and 4 ATP are collected as energy is released from glucose. Therefore, glycolysis only gives us a net of 2 ATP. Some high-energy electrons are released from glucose during this stage, making 2 NADH. So recall from the last lesson that NADH is a high-energy electron carrier. We will use these electrons later in the stage of electron transport chain to generate even more adenosine triphosphate or ATP.
The Krebs cycle completely dismantles the remaining 2 pyruvates and transfers energy from them into ATP energy. Energy carrier molecules and carbon dioxide, the carbon and oxygen atoms originally in glucose. The Krebs cycle produces 2 ATP molecules, 8 NADH, 2 FADH2, and 6 carbon dioxide from each glucose molecule. The energy carrier molecules, which are the NADH and the FADH2, move on to the next stage, the electron transport chain. You may be wondering where the hydrogens in glucose have ended up. Since a hydrogen atom is made up of 1 proton and 1 electron, the electrons are now part of the electron carriers, such as the NADH. The protons remain in the cytoplasm or mitochondria. This stage will generate 34 ATP molecules and water from the carrier molecules that were produced in the first 2 stages. The electron transport chain is a group of proteins embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane or the crystal. You might be wondering if we can use substances other than glucose, like the proteins or fats we eat, to get energy using cellular respiration. The answer is yes. Our bodies need to convert proteins or fats into chemicals that can enter one of the stages of the cellular respiration.
So that ends our discussion for today.
We hope to see you again in another amazing discussion.
Goodbye, learners!